morning, good morning, good morning. How you guys doing out there? Yes, this is Spirit Journey and today is Sunday. It's January 31, 2021. Yes, and what is the time now? Um, it's just about 6 o'clock. Yep, 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I've been up now for a while. Yes, I go to bed early and I wake up early. I was up at 3 o'clock this morning. Yep, 3 o'clock. And I have my monitor out there. Oh, the screen got black now. Yeah, I left my computer on and, watching videos and fall asleep on it. And I just felt like, hey, let me see what's going on this morning. And when I turned on the the monitor and saw with the movie, the videos recommended, I saw something on Cicely Tyson, and I clicked on it. Yeah. Yes. Good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, I'm just getting started now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I invite you to say hello in the chat room and to give me a thumbs up. Yes, when you enter on board, if you just say a quick hello and to press the like button if you like. Yes, I appreciate it. Yes, so what happened now? Yes, I just found out that the legendary actress Cicely Tyson had passed away last Wednesday. Yes. Uh, Cicely Tyson, she was 96. She was born in Manhattan, in Harlem, New York. She was born, was it 1924, I think. Um, yeah, her parents were from the Caribbean. At least one of them was from the island of Nevis. But I thought also she had Trinidadian roots as well. Yes, because she is related to at least one of the two. She's related, I believe she's related to Al Roker, and she's related to another actress, um, Catherine Tyson, and her father was from Trinidad. So I thought actually she was Trinidadian. But either way, um, yes, may she rest in peace. And what's really ironic is that she did an interview. Okay, she passed away Wednesday. Um, she did an interview, I think, Tuesday on what's that? This day show. I forget. Uh, Regis. That show what Regis used to be on. Yeah, she was guest on that show. They did it remotely, and she let's see. Yeah, it was a brief interview, and it's really something. Um, wow, it's really something with fate. She did that interview on Tuesday, and Wednesday she departed. Um, it's something with it really it's really something when it's your time. It's your time. It's like everything's planned. It seems like in one's life, like life, as they say, as Shakespeare said, life is a stage, and Cicely Tyson lived a very full life, very, very full. Um, yes, again, she's born in New York City, Caribbean parents. Um, I know of Cicely Tyson um, when she did the movie Sounder. Now, Sounder was not her first movie or, you know, uh, acting job, but that's where I know her from. I was a young girl. Yeah, the movie Sounder. She played a wife and mother uh, during the era of the the I think the 1920s. It was the time of the Depression era. Um, she was a sharecropper. Her family was sharecroppers, and her husband gets arrested. But I remember, yes, Cicely Tyson. That was one of the few movies. Yeah, my family didn't go to the movies. I saw the movie Sounder that she starred in. Um, yeah, the co-star Curtis Whitfield, something like that, or Winfield. He was a popular actor. I don't know whether he's still alive. I think he may have passed away. But yeah, these were very popular performers back then. And it was nominated, but it didn't win the award. But she's a good actress. Cicely Tyson uh, was a very good actress. Um, what I remember, I remember the dog. Yeah, I guess because I like animals. Who would know that I have little? Let me show my doggies with me. Yeah, that's Lily. Hey, Lily. That's my little girl, Lily. She's my first little doggy woggy. And this is Lilac. She was just scratching herself. Yeah, my little baby wavy. And this is Lavender. Yeah, we're all in the cozy cozy today. Yeah, there she goes, she's scratching. Yeah, my little cupcake. That's what I call it, my little cupcake. Let me turn the camera. Yeah, so this is my crew. So as you see, I got three little ones, and I remember the dog. There was a dog in it, and wow, yeah. Back then, I was 9 years old. I checked online. The movie Sounder. It came out in September 24th, 1972, and so I thought it was in the fourth grade, but no, I was in the fifth grade. Yeah, I think I was actually in the fifth grade. Um, but I remember my classroom. I remember, I think we had to do a little report on the movie. Yeah, back then we didn't go to the movies. I come from a large family, so it would cost a lot of money to bring 9 people, seven siblings, but I field trip, and we saw it. So then, as a little girl, yeah, I went to a black school in New York City, in Queens, New York, and for me, let's see, it was different. See, if you're not, you live um, in an urban center. I mean, I lived um, in one of the outer boroughs, Queens, and it was a residential area. Um, but like in the movie Sounder, um, it was in the countryside, and it took place like in the 1920s, the enactment of it. And so they were in different types of clothes and how they had to have their hair. Um, it made me feel, let's see, race, I didn't understand what race and racism was all about. But I think as a black person, um, you may feel racism up north, and as you get older, it becomes more apparent about racism, how people respond to you, and when you get older, you're going to interact with other people, outside your community, your immediate community, or where you live, and so that's what it was for me. Uh, it made me feel, oh, how did I feel? I mean, looking at it now, because I was just looking at one of the trailers with the movie Sounder. Um, yeah, she was a real actress, boy. She is very livable. I mean, very very believable, her part, and it's something that I was visiting a neighbor of mine, a new acquaintance, really. Um, and I saw her, she was in a Tyler Perry movie. I forget the name of the movie, but she played a part of an older woman who basically was held hostage at this woman's home. And they were, well, not the character, but the person that was holding her hostage were kidnapping women and to get to steal their social security checks. And yeah, that movie gave me made me uncomfortable, made me very very, and that was just last week. So it was really something um, that, yeah, she had passed away last Wednesday. She had a book also. Yeah, her book was, let's see, she passed away Wednesday. Her book came out Monday. So it's really something how things are timed in life. Her book comes out, she did like a memoir on herself. Um, and then uh, I forget the name of it. So the good, I think maybe it's Good Morning America, one of those shows, Good Morning America or something like that. She gets interviewed, and she said that she wanted to share something, and I wonder what she wanted to share, something she wanted to reveal, and then the next day after that, she's in eternity right now. So it's really something with life that we do things. We live a life. Now um, she got some very good uh, movie roles. Um, she wanted for herself to do something that would make a difference in life, and I respect her for saying that. Yeah, she played over a very positive role. She played the the heroine, like like the person who is to save a situation, to save someone, to save the family, things like that, which is very, very honorable. Yeah. And in one of her last, let's see, what was that? She did an interview with, oh, I'm not good with name. She's a friend of Oprah Winfrey. The Oprah Winfrey's best friend, girlfriend, um, who's also in the TV industry. I forget her name, but she did an interview with Cicely Tyson. I don't know when that interview was aired, and Cicely told her, so Miss Tyson told her that um, she she had very humble beginnings, and she didn't really think that she was attractive. But I think more that she wasn't considered socially attractive uh, because of her. She said she was skinny, and that hey, Jet Juice. Oh, let's see. Just look outside the window. Not yet. Yeah, I don't think it's snowing right now. Yeah, but I'll keep my eyes out. Good morning, Jet Juice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm talking about a little bit about Cicely Tyson, Jet Juice. I just learned that she passed away last Wednesday. Yeah, and she had a book that came out, a memoir that came out on Monday. So I'm just finding out now. Yeah. All the news out there is talking about how you guys are going to get slammed big time with polar storms. Have you got your mittens and booties? You bet. You haven't seen? Yeah, you bet I have. You bet I have my booties. Yeah, I got some serious boots. I have a lot of boots out there. Yeah, you know something? Maybe I'll go out today in that storm and all that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, Jet Juice. Didn't say the hang. Yeah, yeah, they were married. Yeah, I found out a couple of years ago. that she was married. I saw like where I live, there was some advertisement, something on a billboard or something, and that she was married to Miles Davis, the famous jazz. I said, wow, what genetics? I didn't know whether the two had kids together, but imagine a prized actress and a world-renowned jazz player. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that growing up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about Cicely Tyson. Yeah, she passed away. She was 96 years old, jet juice. And I was just talking a little bit about her. And I wanted to like talk about other things that's indirectly related. You know me, how I go with these live streams. Yeah, I love my Miles David, but if she was married to him, she must have been some kind of a saint. He had a lot of, okay, yeah, 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 she was married to him, I heard. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's like, because they've both such well-renowned people in their own right, right? Yeah. So, yeah, well, in that interview, what I was saying with um, Oprah Winfrey's girlfriend, female buddy, it was, I think, a recent interview. Um, Cicely uh, talked to, okay, I wonder what she did between 86 and 96 to stay busy. Ah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, but she was in a movie with Tyler Perry that I saw just last week at a neighbor's place. And she played an older lady who was like held hostage. And um, one of the characters in the movie was kidnapping these ladies and to steal their identity and their social security checks. It was very troubling, the movie. I mean, the subject matter was troubling to me. It shook me. Yeah. And that was just last week, so it's really something that now to see her. Interesting that in the movie, she played an elderly woman who was all hunched over and everything. But man, she looked good. The interview, she was wearing a really nice outfit, a classy lady. She looked, she didn't act the part, you know. She wasn't acting like an old lady, you know. Yeah, she was well poised and everything, and more power to her. That was really nice. So, oh yeah. So getting back now, she was being interviewed, and she shared how she kind of got started in business. She said she was walking on Fifth Avenue, and a person tapped her on her shoulder or whatever, and said, "Hey, who's your agent?" And she's wondering what she's talking about. And the person says, aren't you an actress or something like that? Something like that. And so I guess from that point on, she decides, hey, maybe she should go for it, go into modeling or something. So she gets into modeling. And it shows some of the still photos. She looked very nice. She had a short afro in one of the photos, and she had another one with a do. Very nice, very nice. And she was, oh, she got, let's see, she gets an agent. Or decides to go into acting school. Learn acting. And she said she was in a classroom, and um, she was like the last one in the room or something like that. And the guy, the teacher, calls her forward, calls her, and she comes up to the guy, and he says something to her, and then he molests her. Oh my God. Yeah, he said he grabbed her. I think he threw her to the ground or something. Oh my God. Yeah. And she did say she did, um, I think she went back to the classroom. No, she did explain herself. Yeah, I give credit to actresses who show themselves without any makeup in their part. They're actually looking the part, even though it's detract from their appearance. That that's guts. Okay, yeah, yeah, and I put a little something on my lips because my lips were a little dry, but just a dab. But yeah, I don't wear makeup. I have makeup, and I thought a couple of years ago to try to boost up viewership and stuff. Hey, get myself all made up. But you know, it's not me. It really isn't me. I mean, I love to look pretty and everything, but sometimes I like to. I'm a homebody. I like meeting people, casual. I like nature, things like that. Um, but yeah, so Cicely Tyson got attacked in a. Oh, my phone is. The mic is acting funny. You know, sometimes when I'm talking, the some type of audio thing happens, and I'm wondering whether my phone is being tapped. Yeah, it happens. So I never said anything, but it's something. It's like a remember with the regular house telephone, and when someone picks up the other line, even though they don't say anything, you hear it. That's what's happening with this earphones. Yeah, something happens. You like someone's coming on the line. So if someone is tapping onto my phone, I hope you enjoy this live stream. Okay? Yeah, it happens a lot. Oh, I should say it's been happening within the past few months. Yeah, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about yeah. I know you're talking about her, Cicely, and all her roles. She played some tough roles where she was very without makeup. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I knew you would talk about Cicely Tyson. I was just interjecting with myself, you know, because I want to be real. I'm not perfect, but I think a lot of us we want. It's nice to look nice. It's nice. I like that, but sometimes it's good to just be real, you know. So so again, Cicely Tyson was molested by one of the coaches, the acting coach. And she explained to the interviewer that she didn't want to give up. Because some women, some people, I should say, give up. But this was her dream. When she entered, you know, the modeling, and then she wants to progress in life, she says, "No, I'm not going to let this event hold her back." I don't know whether it was the same school or even if it was the same. Did she stay with the same coach? That I don't know. And how far it went, that I don't know. And she started to, you know, tears. You know, she started to get emotional. You know, her eyes started filling up with tears when she shared that. Um, how horrible! I think she was in her 30s when that happened. That is horrible. That would scare me. And so let now what does that have to do with me now? Like let me make it more personal. I'm glad she shared her story, and I don't share this a lot with people. Um, I tried to enter the modeling field. I was let's see, I forget exactly when, but I remember I was still in high school, and they had like I remember I wanted to try to get a little job because all my friends were getting little jobs, and I said, hey, I want to get a little job too. Yeah, so we were still in high school, and I looked in the newspaper, and they had this thing called fitting models. You look great. If I turned and you're wearing your tinfoil hat. We're, I'm reading Jet Juice. Okay. Okay. You look great. If I turned in wearing you are wearing your tinfoil hat, then obviously I'll tune in anytime you look great. Okay, I don't understand, but it's funny. Yeah, wear that tinfoil. You know, it's not even tinfoil, it's copper. Don't wear tinfoil, wear copper. Yeah, I was watching. Yeah, this is video of a nun. She's a former nun, and she got targeted. What they call she's a TI. She got groped by a priest or something like that. She was being interviewed for something, and the guy grabbed her left breast, and everything fell apart. She has love in her heart still. The guy died, though, but yeah, because she went through the right protocols to report him and everything, but they just covered it up. And it turned out that a lot of women it happened to, and some of the women confided in her, the other nuns and things like that. Yeah, and they targeted her. She had a procedure done, and during that procedure, they implanted her with nano technologies, and it caused her many ailments. And she's a smart lady, and she did a detox. She met up with someone, and she got detoxed, and she got targeted 8 times. She had to do some protocol, which took a while to cleanse her body. And she started uh, treating other people, not treating, she started helping other people, other TIs. Yeah, I learned her from maybe 2 years ago, 2, 3 years, maybe 2 years ago. And, oh, what's her name? Yeah, you just write in nun, ex-nun gets groped, something like that, or gets molested, or something like that, and you'll find her. Yeah. So yeah, early in my life. Oh yeah. So with the back in the day. So this might have been 79, 80. They had. I was like looking for a little job. I was living with my parents. Um, Back then, the my parents used to get newspaper, and the New York Times. Sure. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It was a glitch. It looks like it's still on. Oh, good. Okay. So, yeah. So, okay, I'm just a kid. I'm a teenager. And they have what's called a fitting model. And a fitting model, again, I live in New York City, and there is the fashion, we call the textile industry here in New York City. Um, so they need models to fit, to cut the pattern and to fit it on them. And back then you had to be a size 6. And so I said, oh, I'm a size 6, like a 5'6". Back then I was always very skinny. Um, so I think I might have called, you called them up or something like that. I never got a job in that. And but that was like the start. And let's see. Also during that time, there's a model. She was an actress model. She started out modeling and then got into movies and television. The model Brooke Shields. Remember Brooke Shields? Yeah, Brooke Shields was very popular. And I remember growing up, she was in like the movie Pretty Baby, and I remember there was a she was on some in a magazine article, and I remember seeing it, and it always was in the back of my mind. I said, "Why is that? She's a young girl. She's younger than me, Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields is 2 years younger than me, but she was very much of the pop culture. So here she's a young female. I was a young female, And she was yay, a Amethyst. Haven't seen you in a while. Wisdom Amethyst. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for reporting in. Thank you so much. It's always good to see my regulars here. Yeah. So right now, Amethyst, I was just talking about Cicely Tyson, who passed away last Wednesday, and um, that Cicely shared in a recent interview that she was molested by what do you call it, acting coach, and how she didn't let that incident stop her. I think it was her first class or something like that in acting school. Yeah, okay, nice to see you too, my view. Okay. Oh yes, her first. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good to see you. Yeah. So, so I was just sharing a little bit about myself as it pertains to modeling. I never got into acting or acting school, never did that. But I was just sharing a little bit, like um, when I found when Cicely Tyson shared that she was molested by this director, well, no, not director, acting coach, because she had gone to acting school after she got into modeling. Yeah, she started out Cicely Tyson as a model, and then she got into acting. And so it was suggest, hey, go into acting school. So she went in, and then boom, this thing just happened in classroom. All the other students left, and it was just her in the room. And the teacher called her forward, and then said something, and grabbed her, and I think threw her to the ground. Horrible. Yeah, so she said like she didn't give up. She said, I'm not going to let that event stop her, and she continued. So then I was starting to talk about myself. Okay, uh, yeah, with modeling now, as I was saying, back in the day, in the, like 1980, Brooke Shields was the pop queen of that time. Basically, she was a young girl. She's 2 years younger than me. Um, yeah, she was 15 at the time, and I was 17. Um, she was on all these commercials. She was on Calvin Klein jeans commercials, highly suggestive. Even for today, if I would have seen that now, I would have it would have upset me. But like at that time, I was a teenager, and life was still new for me. You see, really, when you're growing up, you're like a clean slate, and you start to learn you start to process, say, hey, is that right? Oh yes, Brooke Shields was very popular years ago. Yeah, Brooke Shields. And so this is what I grew up under. As a younger, I was a teenager. And so this is all that you see. I back then everybody watched TV, right? I grew up on television, and yeah, I grew up on television in the 70s and 80s primarily, and Brooke Shields was a young person of that time. They did have a lot of young people uh, in pop culture, things like that. Yeah, it was it was about adults back then. But Brooke Shields, she was a young girl, and she did highly suggestive. Her mother allowed her to do that. Um, so I think that's where my exposure was. She was a young girl, so yeah, Tracy Ellis Roth. Okay, yeah, I think you also do. You look like, yeah. Everybody says that. Everybody says I look like her. When I came back to New York City in 2001, I met up two people who approached me and said, "You look like this actress, that lady on." Yeah, that's what I learned of her. Yeah, of Ellis Ross. Yeah, yeah, we do favor. Yeah, she is beautiful. Yeah, I'm much older than her. too. But yeah, so back in those days, in 1980, and a little bit before 1980, was Brooke Shields. And so I think that's where my initial exposure was. I wanted to, hey, Sophia! Yeah, all the gang is coming on board now. Yes, good morning, Sophia. So, so I was sensitized to, hey, maybe I should try that. See, as a young person, I mean, what skills did I have? I did learn some typing. I took up typing in high school, and I could type like 30 words a minute. So I did also look in typing as, typist. I was a horrible speller. Yeah. But that's what was presented to me. I try to find little jobs in typing, and then the fit model, and as I explained, the fit model was they use people to fit the garment on them so they can see what it will look like. So I tried to get a job in that. I think I might have called them up. I never got a job in that, but that's where my exposure was about the field in modeling, and someone who, of my peer. And yes, there were black models, but they were not from my generation. So they didn't have the same influence on me as someone more closer to my age, even though she was of a different race. And then what happened now? So I did get a job. A friend of the family's niece got me a job working for the city. Yeah. So uh, I graduated in 1980 from high school, and then in August of that year, which was like 2 months after graduation, I landed a job in the city, and and then I also started college for the first time, also in the city. So now, so here I was a girl from Queens, New York City, one of the outer boroughs of New York City, and now surrounded by tall, tall skyscrapers, all the windows, the storefront windows, um, the displays out there. And it was very exciting to me. I used to go to, okay, Hunter College. I went to Hunter College first, and that is in a very plush neighborhood. It started out as a women's college, and then it turned co-ed, and it could have turned co-ed the year before I started, something like that. Yeah, something like that. 79, 80s when it went co-ed. Okay, so I was like the new, they got all different types of people. Back then, that college it was a great school, but I wanted more. It was in the middle. It was on 68th Street between Park and Lexington Avenue, in a very swanky neighborhood. And I used to walk to the Metropolitan Museum of Art on 80 something Street and Fifth Avenue. Yeah, I had like a 3 hour break one time and just walk up there. I have to be honest, people. I was not into studying all my studies. I didn't know what I wanted in life. I was a clean slate. I lived in a very, uh, I don't want to say sheltered, but I didn't know a lot of what was going on in the world. It was just the household I lived in, the people from school, high school. I didn't really go out and visit them. Things were really strict back then. But so here, I'm seeing the world, the bigger world for the first time. Had my first job. I was meeting people who, wow, they were a character. The people at work, people approached me. I was propositioned by a woman. I was a young girl, 17-year-old, and a 40, she was at least 40 years old because she told me how old she was, um, wanted me to go on a rooftop with her. And I told my brother about, I told my brother about something like that, about her. And he said, stay away from her. She sounds like, she used the L word. He used the L word on her, about her. And it turned out right. She passed a note to me to say that she was bisexual. Here, she's a married woman with a child. She's married to a man. And she says, well, that's okay, because her husband has his sexual needs. So it's okay if he fools around. And I have a 6-year-old son, but she wants to fool around with me. We, we clashed very much. She was from the South. She's from Virginia. And, uh, and I was this young, naive, lighter skinned black woman and don't really know my identity. Yeah, I was a one lost child, you know. Um, but I think we had an understanding. Like, she kind of needled me, and then I kind of needle her. I realize now, she wanted me to awaken about the realities of the black race, of because I remember before I said something like about people. And she said, "What do you mean people? There's People magazine and blah 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 blah." Yeah, she was from Virginia. Yeah. So she lived in the South and the segregated South. Yeah, she should be in her 70s now. So she was born in the 1940s. Virginia was segregated back then. She knew all that. So back in 1980, her living in New York City, so she knew racism. I'm not from the South. And so, I'm sorry, boy, sorry. So she knew about all this stuff. And so I'm this naive girl from Queens, and she wanted me, excuse me, she wanted me to waken up about the realities of racism. That's where her back was, and why we clashed. And so what's funny about her? Yeah, I still remember her name. Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember her first and last name. Very, very old-fashioned name. I'm not going to say her name, but uh, I would give her a hug now if I saw her. Um, yeah, she would always say things like, she wanted me to awaken, racially about, I was still thinking that white people were your friend type of mentality. I wasn't raised in a racialistic home, you know. She was. You live in the South, everything's about race and racism. But I was naive about race and racism. I went to an integrated high school, and I had the false assumption that, excuse me, I had the false assumption that these were my friends. It was very, very integrated. There were all different types of races, ethnic groups. It had everything. And I appreciate that school. I got along with all of them. Um, but a lot of the blacks did not, I shouldn't say a lot. The real urban blacks, the streety blacks, they didn't like me. And they tried, well, two of them, I shouldn't say they. Two of them in my school were they didn't like me for whatever reason. And my junior high school, I was afraid. The young black girls there, they were very violent. If there was a fight, it wasn't the other people fight, it was the American black ones. I'm being real. This is what it was back then in the 1970s. A lot of physical violence, fist fights and everything. I was afraid. You had West Indians back then too. The West Indians were back then in Queens, they were quiet. Yeah, traditionally, West Indians are real conservative people. They're into doing their homework and all that. They had their hair in these plaits and natural hair texture. Yeah, they were real basic people, right? And they did their homework. Their parents would beat them if they act up in school. But things now are changed. But back then, so the people who I thought were my friends were West Indian people, uh, Europeans, white people, Jewish people, Asians, all that. But some of the American black, they didn't like me, and I was afraid of them. I was afraid of lot. I'm being very real. I want to be real in all this. So, so fast forward now with this job, my very first job, first time in college. I was 17 years old, real naive about the world, and so this girl, woman that I work with, she wanted me to, hey, wake up. And what was funny, like I did leave that job after 2 years to go away for school, and I wanted to. Um, I didn't want to stay at that job. It was a dead end job, I felt. And I wanted more glamour. I was tired of seeing uh, angry black people who are doing drugs. Yeah, this girl was doing drugs. She did cocaine. And she had took out her cocaine thing. Like, I didn't know that she was doing cocaine. But explains now some of her behavior. We were out in We're at a park. I think we're at Washington Square Park. Yeah, our job was in the village. Yeah, it was on 8th Street and Broadway, that job. Yeah, working for the city. And I think it was at that park. And let's see, do you think young black teenage girls has changed at all? I think they've gotten more violent. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for asking me that question, Jet Juice. Look at Miss Waters, the what's that, a senator? Is it? I think she's a senator or congresswoman from California. Miss Waters. That's a girls like that. Yeah, real streety. Oh, I was in Victoria's Secret one day, and went about 18 of them. Okay, about 18 of them came in and ransacked the store right in the middle of the day. You can't stop them. They're again. Okay. Oh, wow. Really? When about eight? Oh, wow. Wow. That's why it's closed. Victoria's Secret is closed. Yeah, the one on 34th. There's one on 34th Street. Wow. Wow. If you could tell me more about that incident. I never heard about that one. Yeah, you get these angry black women. They're usually very dark skinned, heavy set, and just filled with rage and anger. And if your skin was a little lighter than theirs, or your hair a little straighter, so I am of a mixed background. I'm a black woman. Both of my parents are black, but of mixed heritages, it's evident. And yeah, and DNA says it. So I kind of look a little, back then, black people look like black people, you know? Back then, 1970s, early 80s, even when I went into the military, the black people were black people. You just really started to get more interracial unions started more, then you see the people, their looks changing, right? So yeah, back then when I went in the military, the blacks, they were dark-skinned black people, standard black, and the ship that I was on, the USS Yellowstone AD 41, is on YouTube. And it was that trip that they show on YouTube that I arrived on that ship shortly after. It was during its deployment from uh, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, to Europe. And I was in between. Like I had to take a flight because the ship already left. And so someone had done a video, took a video on board the ship during the time when I was trying to get to that ship. And they showed the people. And you'll see for yourself what the black people back then looked like. The USS Yellowstone AD 41. It deployed out there in 1988. Yeah, It's right on YouTube. I saw it maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, I said, oh my God. Something said, hey, I wonder, is there any information on uh, the ship I was on? Because I think I saw something in the military about different ships. I said, hey, I wonder whether that ship is on YouTube. And it is. Yeah. So you get to see some of the blacks that I knew. Yep. Yep. I knew them all. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they are filled with rage and anger. They was jealous of me because of my hair and complexion. Isn't that foolish? Yeah, yeah. And so I thank you for sharing that, Amethyst. Yes, yes, you are a jewel, Amethyst. Yes, you are a jewel. It was very sad. And I'm not trying to slam anybody when I share this. I'm being real. Because, I'm talking about Cicely Tyson and what was going on at the time in the 1970s. Okay, Jet Juice had shared Google black teenage girls ransacking Victoria's Secret stores across the nation. Oh my goodness. I will. I will Google it. I will Google it. Yeah. So I'm glad that we're talking about this. Yeah, it's so sad. Yes, we're just speaking our truth. Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I'm very pro black, but it's history. What we're doing now is sharing our stories, and I know those dark skinned black girls uh, have their stories, and I want to hear their stories. And I know there are lighter skinned black girls who rub it in their face, who call them awful names. Yeah, I know. You hear of it. You hear of it. You know, but I wasn't raised like that. My mother is extremely fair in color. I did think she was a Caucasian. I'm being honest. I thought she was a white woman, and my father is jet black, and I'm in the middle. And so I have my father's hair texture. I don't have my mother's. My mother has straight hair. So I'm used to seeing, and then they come from the Caribbean, and I wasn't raised in that type of to be jealous because somebody's here. It wasn't I was not raised in that. And maybe if I had more sisters, I have a lot of brothers, you know. So I was raised around boys, and boys have their hair cut short. Boys aren't into, long hair. Boys have short hair, and I was raised with them, my brothers, so I wasn't raised in a really girly environment. And that's also, I think, why I'm very earthy, you know. I wasn't into, I wasn't really into trying to look pretty. And when I did try to dress pretty, I was insulted by several, some members of my family. Yeah, every time when I tried to uh, feel good about myself, as a teen, later teens and my 20s, this is the abuse I got, you know. So they didn't want me to shine. And that individual, I'm not going to name names, but they know who they are. And they did that to me because how they feel about themselves. They don't like themselves. If you only saw what this person looked like, yeah. So they're hurting. You find people who are hurting are the ones who usually I was called ugly, flatsy, skinny, yeah, by family members, by that particular family member. And this other one too. Yeah. They thought he was oops. That person was being mean. I don't hate him though. I actually love the person. I really do. I love this person to this day, but they are who they are. Um, so I think with the oh boy, I'm kind of going off the subject, but I like this. This is good because I started out talking about the modeling thing, and that Southern woman that I met from Virginia, and she wanted me to wake up about being aware about racism, and that I think too. She thought I I guess, thought like a white person. So when I resigned from the company, um, I was to go away for school. I always wanted the fantasy of going away for school. And I had gotten accepted to that school that I wanted to go to school, but my father didn't want me to go away. And so you have to listen to what your parents say. And even though I paid for my own college, my folks didn't pay for my college. So it's really something. But I was a minor, I was 17 years old, and I didn't know anything really. And so I stayed and I went to Hunter College. 2 years later, I was determined. I didn't want to stay at that job. Oh, yeah, because she was doing cocaine. And she had asked me in a park, that same lady, she says, could I borrow your nail file? Yeah, I always kept my hands very nice. Um, and so I thought she had to fix her nail. She used it to do cocaine. I mean, oh my God. Yes, she did. Nasty woman. And she started laughing. And then she wiped the cocaine on my arm. That's a nasty woman. That's the same woman that wanted me. She wanted to do me on the rooftop. Yes, she did. Yeah, that's the same lady. So when I was leaving, to leave the company, um, I got her a card. You know, oh, it's her birthday. Yeah, she had a birthday. Yeah, and so I got her the birthday card of a white lady on the cover, and it said "Happy Birthday, you old fart." So it was an inside joke to her. So I think like we were sparring each other. She was trying to call me whitey indirectly, and I was insulting her back by putting a white lady, it was an older white lady on the cover. She had like a silly face or something, and she laughed, and that's how I meant for her to respond. She understood the joke, you know, and we move on. Yeah, I would give her a hug, because she was what she was. She was her background. She was a very dark skinned black woman, pretty woman though, pretty girl. She was petite. She was 40 or in her 40s, and yeah, she did cocaine. Yes, she did. And yeah, I wasn't able to get my old job back. That's a whole story in itself. So let me get back with the modeling thing. So during that time, for the 2 years I was at that company, um, I was curious about the modeling. I think at that time I had very low self-esteem. I didn't. I was told I was ugly, and I was very skinny back then, and I had no breasts whatsoever. When you have very low body fat, because the breast is fat, right? So you're flat as a rail. And and then there was Brooke Shields, as I mentioned earlier. Brooke Shields was a model. She was a face model, and she also did runway. But she was on many, many covers. And I remember my first magazine that I bought. Yeah, so I worked in this city and I went to school in this city. When I say this city, I mean Manhattan. Um, I saw a magazine uh, in the subway. In the subway, um, they have these newspaper stands and they have all different types of magazines, newspapers, and I saw one on the cover, and it had the model. Oh, what's her name? She married a. She married an actor. The what's that Taekwondo actor? He did Steven Seagal. Yeah, she married him. They were at least they were married at one time. Her, and I think it was the October issue it could have been 1988. And let's see, yeah, she was, yeah. And so I bought the magazine. This was Vogue magazine, and she was wearing a lot of orange. She had like orangey color lipstick because again it's Halloween approaching. So I started college in September, and this could have been October. Yeah, I think it was the September October issue, and I got glued to those magazines. Yeah, so I start. I think back then the magazine was $2, which I thought was a lot. $2 or $2.50, and I started buying them and fantasizing about having makeup on, looking pretty, and being in an exotic place. So it was like a just to escape into, briefly. And uh, so I think I started to think, hey, maybe I could do this, get on a cover or something. And see, I didn't have any real understanding what modeling was. I thought modeling was, you just someone take your picture and you have all this pretty makeup on. No, that is not what modeling is all about. Not at all. Modeling is about sex. Modeling and the modeling industry is about sex, period. And I was very fortunate, and I shared this part of this story before. I was very fortunate that I met two people. One was a neighbor who was a photographer, a professional photographer, that a family member referred me to. They say, "Hey, so and so is a photographer. Hey, you should, get in contact with them." Somehow we met. Uh, he took me to different places to take pictures. He was a gentleman. I respect him. He passed away then in the 90s. Uh, yeah, I wish I were able to really thank him. Hey, hello, Claudia, Ricio. Yes, yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I've been on here for a while, but it's good. It's all good. Thank you for coming on board and saying hello. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we got 6 people watching. Hey, if some of you could press the like button, it'll really help me out. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I had 2 people that took my initially took my photo. That neighbor, his work actually was the best. He was a black man too. He's a black man. His work was the best out of all the photographers I ever had. And then there was another photographer lived in the city. Again, I was looking at magazines. They had this. I'm not 100% sure, but um, it it was some magazine. Somehow I found out about this photographer. It could have been from this other magazine that's no longer in publication. It was called Models Magazine, I think it's called, and it was a very very tall one. It was over. It could have been 14 inches tall. It was a real tall, big publication, and I think I purchased it, and I looked in and I saw a photographer's name, and so I got in contact with them. And what little I knew about the industry, there was this thing called Go See. Go See. A Go See is when a person, a prospective model uh, goes to a photographer, and usually the photographer wants to experiment with lighting and things like that. And the photographer gets practice in getting taking pictures, and then the model gets a photo. So you call the photographer, hey, I saw your name on such and such. I was wondering if I could go on to Go See and you take my picture. And but either way, this the second photographer I saw, I had to pay him. Yeah, I was still at my job. Um, he took my picture. He had a bad moment. He was a nice man also. He was in his 70s. He was an older guy, but still very youthful looking. Yeah, I think he was 72 years old. He had an adult son, and yeah, what happened? They got in a fist fight. He and his son got in a fist fight in front of me. Yeah, it scared me. And he apologized, the father, for the melee. He got hit in the, yeah, he wasn't serious there, but there was a little blood. Yeah, his work wasn't uh, as good. It was like they had this like the back screen and lighting and all that. Um, while the first photographer, he just took outside in nature and took some pictures. His was the most, but the studio work, um, it wasn't as good. Yeah, each photographer is different. It's more than just taking putting your finger down. See, the person taking the picture, when they click on it, they are clicking on like an energy or something that they see that they want to capture. Different people are attracted to different things in a model, in a subject, and that's what it's like. So I really think, hands down, the first photographer. Yes, if you hear me out there, photographer, yes, you were the best. You were the best one out of all the photographers I ever went to, and I thank you for being a gentleman. Yeah, yeah, he was a gentleman. And that other photographer who got in a fight, he was a gentleman also. Why I mention that? Why I say gentleman? Let me get my tea. Sorry, my voice is going. Yeah, yeah. Why I share that? See, they shared something with me. The first photographer, my neighbor, he said to me, now he's a black man. He says, "Look, um, you as a black woman, you're only going to be there for sex. That's all what they use the black women for sex." Something like that, he said. He wanted me to he wasn't telling me to be vulgar. He knew I didn't know my ass from my elbow. I was extremely naive about sexuality or anything. Here, I thought for modeling was just someone taking a picture. No. And then the second photographer, he was a white guy. Um, he um, he was going over the photos with me, and he was irritated with me, and he says, I he opens up a magazine cover, like a high fashion magazine. He says, "Look at this picture. Sex, sex, sex. What do you see here?" And it was a woman, a young woman, uh, looking how she was looking. He said, "This is all about sex." Yeah, that's all he said. He knew I didn't know what I was, just being a happy little teenage girl. Oh no, by that time I was maybe 19. Yeah. By the second photographer, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I was 19 by that time. Yeah. Yeah. So he never, I never used him again. Hey, yes, thumbs up, everybody. Yeah, so, yeah, thank you, Amethyst. Yeah, so that's what it was about. So these two men, one black, one white, and they knew I did not know. And they were trying to wake me up. Look, it's not about looking cute. It's not about, it's these models are paid to project sexuality. They also have what's called commercial modeling, and then there's high fashion modeling. The so-called commercial look are the models that they use to sell products like toothpaste, soap, things like that. So that your look is more commercial than fashion. You know what high fashion modeling is? High fashion models is it's a sex demon. It's all about sex. Because back then I said, well, what do you mean? What's the what? Why can't this model do high fashion? Just put the clothes on. No, but it's what she's selling. It's what she's selling. Okay, and these models, the so-called high fashion models, are sent to Europe. You start out here, you're in America, you get in a modeling agency, and then you get broken in Europe. After they get broken in, well, we all know what broken in means now. Okay? Okay. Yeah, we all know what it is. So then they bring them back to the United States. And now, but don't you notice? Look at all the models. Look at their face. It's the same spirit that attached to them. So these models went through an initiation. That's they went through the same initiation, and that's why they have the same look. They have the same spirit that is attached to them. And because they went through that initiation, so they have their seal of approval. And so they use the same models. They all went through the same stuff. And I'm sure Brooke Shields went through this similar initiation. You don't go through that business, modeling, without going through an initiation. How does she learn those looks? Because she was initiated to create that. Okay, it's my opinion that when someone of that age, who's 11 years old, because she was around 11. She started out as a toddler or infant. She was at least a year old. Yeah, she was a baby. She was in diapers when Brooke Shields started. She had on a little diaper, and then she moved up. And so and then she was in the movie Pretty Baby. Remember that? She was 11 years old. I remember seeing that about that movie in a newspaper or a magazine at that time, and I was reading it. I said, "Wow, she's a young girl and she's doing a movie called Pretty Baby." She was a prostitute, and Jodie Foster. Yeah, I like Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster. She was in the movie Taxi Driver. Me and Jodie Foster, we're the same age. We're the same age. Brooke Shields was 2 years younger. So yeah, Jodie Foster also. Jodie Foster started out as a she was a toddler. She was the copper tone baby. Remember that? Yeah, she started out young, and she did the movie Taxi Driver of an 11 or 12-year-old prostitute. Yeah, I love Jodie Foster. She's fantastic, Sophia. Yes, I like Jodie Foster. She did the movie. I saw that movie recently, Taxi Driver, about a month or 2 months ago. It really disturbed me. I always heard about the movie Taxi Driver. Um, back in those days, I did that movie wasn't for children. That was an adult movie. But I remember the advertisement for that movie. I didn't understand it. I was very. It was what it was. But yeah, see, you get initiated. And so all those people who are initiated, um, they have that same thing about it. It's like when you go through a trauma, you notice you kind of all have that same look. So same thing of being sexualized with when there is, in that field, you all look alike. You all act alike. Yeah. So that's what my life was back then. So again, I had gotten the photos done. The photographer's trying to tell me, hey, look, you don't seem to have a clue. This isn't about being pretty. It's about sex. So I didn't do well in the industry. I couldn't get into it. I just, yeah, because I did go to some agencies, and they were, most of them were polite. Yeah, I remember going. I went to uh, Ford. Back then was considered the top or the most prestige, and I wanted to go to the most prestige. Yeah, they're way, way, way over on the east side. I forget what street was up, but it was way on the east side. It took a long time to get there. And they advise you just go to one agency a day, one agency at a time, maximum two. That's it. Because you have to look very refreshed and everything. And they suggest just get photographs. Um, yeah, and I would advise people now, excuse me, who want to go into the modeling, don't invest in professional photos. Don't do it. I mean, we all do it, but just get Polaroid, just snapshots, whatever. Now we have like the phones that can take pictures. So I don't know how they do it now, but yeah, just get photos and bring it to the agencies. Dress clean, nice neat clothes. Go in there. Don't invest in all that money because see they're going to build up your portfolio anyway. You know, um, yeah, that's it. Oh, um, don't sign anything um, because they can get you in a contract that you can't get out of. Um, yeah, it's a sex industry, and they will try. And yes, when I did go to what you call the go-sees, as I explained earlier, yeah, when the photographers he asked if he can do something, I said no. Yeah, and they don't really care how old you are. When you go, what you're signaling to a man when you want to be a model, and you could be innocent to a man, to a male photographer, and maybe even some of the women, who knows? But when you go into that to that man, your game, you'll say you want to be a model, your game in their eyes, and they will try something. They will somewhere add, oh, can I do this to you or that? Yeah, a lot of them do say yes. So this whole thing about the Me Too movement, women be, and I'm not trying to slam women. There are women who say no and who are attacked. I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about those women. They know exactly what they're going, what they're in for, and that they know what they want. That they're willing. And some of these women actually try to entice the photographer, the uh, agent at the modeling agency. Oh yes, oh yes. They should call it Me Too and some. Me Too, yes, that some of these women are violated or raped, and some because some of these women come on to the photographer, the agent, yeah. And so I'm glad Cicely Tyson shared that she was assaulted. But it seems like the greater the assault, the the more they're willing to hire you. It's really something. It's really something. That industry, and it includes acting also, acting, dancing, all that. They're all in the same boat, all of them, all of them. They all play the same game. So I commend Cicely Tyson sharing her that she was assaulted by an acting coach. Um, horrible, horrible. Um, and it just seems like when the industry gets exposed, acting, modeling, and the music industry also, they're all the same. You notice a big scandal happens, right? Isn't it something? Always something happens. And it seems like recently with the sex scandal, who do they use to distract? A black person. Remember, they used Cosby, they use R. Kelly. When the sex scandal of Hollywood and the music and all that came out, and then that other guy, uh, Juicy Smollett. You notice you don't hear anything about Juicy Smollett. He should be going on trial soon. Remember, they finally pressed charges. See that? Those three, Cosby, Juicy Smollett, and R. Kelly. Oh, it seems like always when the industry starts to get exposed and the government, when they start to get exposed to the sex scandals, boom, they put somebody black on to distract you. You're foolish. I wish we'd wake up. See, they use us. I think black people in America are used as a distractant for all these politics stuff. Black people seem to be used in even the Civil War. The Civil War had nothing really to do with black people, had to do with politics. Because after the Civil War, what happened to black people? Hello. Did we get our 40 acres? We didn't get it. We were just a tool for the system, for their politics. And we were in the middle. And again, with Trump, we're all in the middle again. Hello, people, don't you see the correlation? I'm not talking, you don't have to like any of these politicians. You don't have to like their behavior, but how you being, how you're being used again and again and again and again, and you don't seem to get it. So yeah, the person's out of office right now, okay? But what's going on? They're using us to shut down America and to force you with a mask. Didn't that guy, I forget his name, Fauci, Dr. Fauci is not a medical doctor. He is a scientist. He's not a medical doctor. And he's telling you about the wearing the mask and all this. But he did, I think it was a 2007 interview where he says a mask does not prevent you from getting a virus. Because remember, around in 2007, with this other pandemic. Oh, I forget the name of the pandemic. What it was? H1N1 or something. It was something. Yeah, and he says a mask won't do a damn thing. So why are they imposing all this mask? I went to the VA hospital, and I I I I wore my I did wear my mask. I was going to bring the face shield, but something said, I think they're going to try to screw around with me. I said, okay, I'm going to wear the. Oh no, I think I did wear my face shield, and I had the mask with me in case. And then they wanted to take my temperature. Now I put my wrist. She said, no, we have to do your forehead. I said, I don't want any gun on my head. I said, okay, you can do that one there. This machine. Machine uses something with your eyes. It's still something to your head. So I wound up, I just covered my eyes and I had to do the thing on the head. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want any gun. What is that thing going to do inside your brain? See that they try to mess with you. So again, they seem in the United States, they use you as a cover, as a beard for politics, as a politics. So now they have a new person in the White House, but they're going to put things on you. It's not freedom. It's no freedom. Yeah, it's acting out. And they're using black people in America to attack people, acting like freaking animals, some of us. Yeah. So, what you were mentioning earlier, viewers, that, yeah, growing up with the movie Sounder with Tyson. Now, back in that movie came out in September of 1972, September 24, 1972. I was 9 years old. I was about the age of some of those, the children in that movie. And what else? Yeah, see, back then, like, see, they used Cicely Tyson. She's actually of West Indian heritage. And in the West Indies, their features are that in many of the islands, the English-speaking islands, they're not as mixed as like a place like Puerto Rico, you know. So they were looking for black women who look like you know, straight black women, very little mixing in their blood, to be role models, you know. And she was great acting. But yeah, she was used to try to encourage the women out there to have a sense of black pride, you know. And so back in those days, the school I was going to was very violent. The young black women were extremely violent at that time. What was going on with these black women? Young, I said, excuse me, black girls or teenagers. Um, Many of them were being molested at home. Maybe they're pastors. Um, Physical violence being done on them. Uh, Being told by media that you're ugly. And Cicely Tyson said in an interview that she was, society told her she wasn't attractive because she was skinny. Black community back then weren't into skinny women, and I was very skinny. And Black Americans back then, they had meat on them. Many of them had meat on their bones. Okay, so she wasn't considered attractive because she was skinny, and she said her color. Now, who told her her color was bad? Now, back in those days, uh, other black people told each other, would make fun of each other. We have what's called colorism within the black community. That if someone was a particular shade and someone was even darker than them, that the person who wasn't as dark but dark would insult their fellow brother or sister. Yeah, and then you reinforce and reinforced that darker colors is considered ugly, but that is not true. I learned. I mean, it's not true, but any color is beautiful, and yes, we all were. If you live in the Americas, whether North America, the Caribbean, Central, South America, we all are brainwashed to believe that the more European your features were, your coloring, your hair texture, that was the symbol of beauty. But I'm glad that I'm an adult now, and I have a new. I should have said new, but I see how beautiful we really are. I had an opportunity to. Um, I had an opportunity to move away from New York City, where I was born and raised. It was like something being pulled off of me, my eyes, and I was able to see a new reality. Yeah, I was in Hawaii and I saw the beautiful colors there. Oh, also, before I left, almost forgot, I used to roller skate. And roller skating back then, there were the four wheels and you used to dance to music. Primarily, it seems like the roller skating was black people were into the roller skating scene back in the 1980s and the 70s. Uh, yeah, you didn't see a lot of white people in it. But yeah, I started roller skating in 1986. Predominantly, it was all people of color. They were American blacks and black Latinos, primarily, that were the ones. And this was in the city. Okay, I'm sorry. My nose is itchy. I apologize. And they played R&B music and house music. And so for me, I was getting into the house music. I was not into R&B. And then I started slowly uh, embracing and appreciating my blackness. I was not I was not pro-black at all, but life was teaching me. Life was teaching me about myself and about loving my black heritage. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I had a uh, what's the word? False assumption, false acceptance, uh, based on the high school and junior high school I went to, where the non-American blacks were my friends. I thought, yeah, yeah. So by the time I graduated, I used to think that these were my friends. But once I got into the work field, all that started changing. Then I started to really experience racism. I started seeing it up front. And so I had to, it was a wake up call. And by the time in 1986, um, I met up with these new people. And I met up with these people from a white person, actually. I worked in a beauty salon, and that taught me a lot of racism. I worked in what you call a white salon. It was a fancy salon catering to uh, wealthy white people. Uh, and she was a facialist, and she had promised to give me a facial. And I got let go of that job. Um, yeah, they didn't want me there. But I came back. I'm not sure if it was just before I got let go or after, but it was soon. She had me come in because she had promised to do me, and she gave me a facial. It was nice, and she said she was mentioning about her roller skating. She says, "Hey, why don't you come? You got skates? Hey, I roller skate in Central Park. Hey, we could come. You could come with me." And I brought my roller skates. I had these. I had purchased it, I think, the year before, um, and I brought them. I forget where we met. It could have been at the job. I forget exactly, but we go to Central Park. She showed me and the rest was history. I never saw her again, and she never appeared again. Isn't that something? That's what I want to get at, people. People are introduced to others. There is an assigned time for meeting certain people. And it was something because here I was no longer working. Yeah, by the time I started roller skating, I was no longer at that company. Yeah, that's right. I was no longer working there. And that woman um, invited me and and opened up a new horizon for me. And that was a white woman. Yep, a white woman who did the facials there. She was an American lady. Um, what else? I appreciate her doing that. Yeah. And the rest was history. I remember when I got there, I was sitting down just watching people. I was like, I didn't know how to roller skate. And I remember the first person, it was a tall black fellow, dark skinned black fellow. And I think it goes like this, holds out his hand and to have me come to him. I said, oh, I don't know how to roller skate. I was 23 years old. I said, I don't know how to roller skate. I don't. The guys love it. You don't know how to roller skate. Then they can hold on to you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you don't think a man is going to mind you holding on his arm? Yeah, he was older than me. He could have been in his 40s. Um, yeah, and he held me up and he roller skated me around the loop. It was an outdoor place. It was in the middle of Central Park. Yeah, and it opened me up to a lot of black people. Yeah, urban blacks, blacks from they lived. Excuse me, let me get that. Sorry about that. Yeah, they opened me up to black culture. Yeah, I'm from Queens, and these people, most of them lived in Uptown or Brooklyn. Yeah, and I was the girl from Queens. So again, I was always the only one, basically, that lived where I live. Um, and here I was meeting the diehard black people, what they call urban black people. And I met up with a woman. She was 40 or also in her 40s, and she uh, was an eye opener for me about race. Uh, she she introduced me more to R&B music. Uh, she 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 was about opening me up to love my blackness. She was an exotic looking black woman. She was American black and Puerto Rican, her background. She was had very dark skin but very exotic looking, and she had mixed texture hair, straighter than my hair. Um, she was short, and all the guys liked her. She had a big backside, and all the guys liked her. Yeah, yeah. She was built like a Puerto Rican woman. Yep, she had a Puerto Rican mom, Black American father, and I think she has a Native American mix in her. Yeah, um, and she's the one that really I would say uh, introduced me to blackness. But she turned out to be a traitor too. But I still appreciate that she served her purpose at that time as a teacher of she taught like a little spirituality. There was other people there. I met other white people there who taught me about spirituality in the sense of like the white lady I met, and I think she was Jewish. She was real tall, and she made little pouches for people that you could put little trinkets in for free. There were some nice white people. Nice. They didn't. They were. She liked black people. Her boyfriend was black also. She liked black culture. That lady. Not gonna give her name. She lived in Harlem too. She rented a room in a black woman's house. She lived maybe 10 blocks away from me, and she invited me to her home. Uh, and she talked to me about the importance of diet, eating right. She said, get a wok and stir fry your food. She told me about wearing, I think you call it, what do you call it? I think you call them stockings. I hate to sound naive like that. What's the one that just goes up to your thigh and you use a garter belt? She says, wear those, if you're going to wear them, wear those types because you want to be able to breathe down there. Wear cotton underwear. Yeah, so I met up with women. I'm so glad I'm talking about this. See, we all help each other. And these women I met in 1986, 1987. Yeah, I think it was also the same year. Oh, no, no, wait a minute. No, I moved in 1987. Yeah. So I initially met the first girl, the black and Puerto Rican mix, in 86. And then in 87, I met the other, met up with the other lady. Yeah, I met up with, yeah, I would meet all different types of people. Um, I met up with uh, other guys. Yeah, guys would be guys. But I met up with another fellow. He was a Puerto Rican, what you call a black Latino, uh, a Puerto Rican ancestry, heavy Puerto Rican accent. He said he was a lawyer, and he taught me about black culture also. Yeah, he that was a Puerto Rican that was proud of his black heritage. Oh yeah, and I appreciate you. I appreciate both of you for that. Uh, yeah, he was a little darker than me, bald head, short guy. Um, he was fun to talk to, and he taught me about Alexander Pushkin. He was a man from Russia. He was considered the Shakespeare of Russia, Russian literature. And yeah, he, see, my little doggy. This my Labby. Look at him. Yeah, he taught me about Black history, and he wanted me to know about my Black heritage. So more power to him. I shared with you guys some time ago where I used to roller skate, and it's a whole different crowd out there. Yeah, um, yeah. I wish him. I would love to see him again. I remember his name. I asked around there some of the people that the people from way back, it's just a few regular, people there from the time when I was there, but mostly they're all new people. But I saw one or two who was from the past. I asked about the fellow. They don't remember him, but yeah, yeah. More power to him. Yeah, I appreciate you. I feel good right now. I feel I really feel good about this. See, we all have. I'm sorry. See, we all have um, our history. We all have our. See, I feel someone's tapping on my screen again. Yeah, someone's listening on. Yeah, something happens. It came on. Something was tapping on. Let me finish anyway. Yeah, I met up with some really, really interesting people on my walk. Yeah, I was 23 years old when I first started roller skating, and I was introduced to it by a white lady who's about maybe in her 40s at that time. I was in my 20s. Most of the people that served as role models to me were always older than me. And so I think that's why I don't mind talking to younger people because there were people there for me. And you know what else? Why I really think much of them were older? Because people my age were, I was considered a competitor, you know? So I didn't have a lot of friends my age because of I was not a competitive person. But I think with regard to other blacks or black Latinos, black women, whether Hispanic or not Hispanic, um, I was considered a threat, and so they didn't want to be my friend. It was all about what boy you want to get, or sleeping around. And I wasn't about that. I wasn't about having sleeping with some dude so that they could pay my rent. Pay your own damn rent, people. Women, pay your own way. I mean, pay. I mean, if a guy takes you out, the custom is you pay the way. Um, but either way, this is how it was. This was what my reality was. That people my age or near my age is all about trying to get a guy. Men come and go, ladies. You have to have your dignity. You need your dignity, and um, because they're always going to use it over you, or let's say to say no. See, a lot of these guys do what they do because a lot of you say yes and make it horrible for us. Um, the type of movie roles that you play. Now, Cicely Tyson played roles that were considered very respectable, but a lot of us don't. A lot of us play things what it is. But maybe this is all a show, people. Maybe this is all a show. So yes, you have had women who that first woman who really to teach me about who I was as a black woman. Um, Even though we had a falling out, I did meet up with her. I bumped into her twice. And the first time, the person did something to me behind my back. But many, many years later, I bumped into her, and I was genuinely happy to see her, and I gave her, greeted her with a kiss. I was really excited to see her. And we talked for a couple of hours, maybe 2 hours at the most. And then I saw her for what she really was. And then I bumped into her again. She recognized me and came by. And then again, the insults. See, one thing, even though she served as a teacher in the 1980s, she was also a very jealous woman. And she really didn't respect me. But part of me still respect that part of her that I initially met and who did initially serve as a teacher. And then, unfortunately, her true colors, her true colors came out over time. But I was afraid, I became afraid of her, and I was being manipulated by her. So why I share that? Because, again, it's about being truthful to people, to let you know that, yes, sometimes people could start off one way, but they can end up another way, and vice versa. Someone might start out as an enemy, but turn out later on to really be a true friend. Okay, that could happen too. So this is all a journey for all of us. A journey about who we are as women. And again, all of us have our own journey. No matter what your race, your nationality, your religion, it's all the same. It's all what you do in those roles you play. And I hope for me that I'm able to fulfill a beautiful story. Imagine Cicely Tyson was 96 years old. I had no idea she was that old. I had no idea. I knew she wasn't young, but I didn't realize she's older than my mother. Yeah. So I, she had a good legacy. She, I never heard a scandal about her, and she did honorable roles. And there's another actress that also does honorable roles. Also, what's her name? Bassett. Her last name is Bassett. I think it's Angela Bassett. Yeah, I like her as an actress too. Yeah, she didn't do the movie Monsters Ball. She was the first one to be offered that role. She turned it down, and Holly Berry accepted the role. Now, I respect Angela Bassett. Yeah, Angela Bassett, she went to college too. She graduated from Yale University, so she's an intelligent woman. Hmm. I respect her roles also. Um, what else now? Um, yeah, so we choose different roles, and in the end, what do we have to show? Like for myself, I was saw Brooke Shields go as a youngster. When I was a teen, and I wanted to get a job, and I was for about 2 years on and off in 2 year period, trying to get into modeling, and be these two photographers, they were honest enough to tell me this is a sex business. Um, yeah, I'm glad that life has something more for me. You know, yeah, you have a lot of models, and I shared with you some time ago about the model. Yeah, she was 11 years old, and she did get on a magazine cover. And yes, the photographer told me about her. Yeah, the guy that they tried. So the guy tried something with me. I told him no. Um, but just imagine that girl, 11 years old. So yeah, so that Me Too movement, it's really something. The Me Too movement. That why is it just saying it now? Was it last year? No, wait a minute. I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019. That Me Too movement. Where's it now? You think those people in Hollywood, you don't think they're doing what they're doing now? One person gets thrown in jail, the other one takes his spot. It's not going to change. It's what runs it, what runs the industry, whether it's acting, modeling, the music field. They're all the same, and they all seem to go through a ritual. What's the name of the singer? What's her name? Whitney Houston. She was a church girl. She was growing up in church. And she chose what she chose. It wasn't the guy that she married. They try to blame him. No, she was already on that path. She did what she was doing. And the two knew each other. They both were doing things prior to the meeting. And then the two married. you know. So they try to blame the husband. No, she was already doing what she was doing. But we make choices. And what do we decide to do as whatever role we play? Some of us play a villain, some of us play the nice girl down the road. We all play our parts. I hope for myself, like I still feel like I'm changing inside. Part of me feels like the young kid from the early 80s, and then another minute I feel like a seasoned person. I'm 58 years old, and I want to do more in my life. I want to be able to leave something beautiful behind. And if it's these videos to encourage other women who are coming out, sometimes we just need other people to say it's okay to say no. That you don't have to throw yourself out there, your body out there. You don't have to. And you don't have to do drugs. See, they made me think growing up that to be cool, oh, you got to dress this way, oh, you got to have a cigarette, right? All this stuff. We are those women now. A lot of them are barefoot and pregnant. A lot of them. Very few women my age don't, don't have children. Very few people my age women who I went to school with, many of them have had children before they were married. They were teenage moms. I said, no, I'm not about that. I'm not about that. So yeah, I was considered, I wasn't the cool girl, but I was real. I was very timid. It's okay to be shy. It's okay to be shy. And it's okay to say no. I gotta say it again. Ladies, it's okay to say no. And you get to see people's true colors. If someone is for you, if someone's a real friend, they'll be there for you. Okay? You don't have to uh, force yourself to get a so called boyfriend. But they come and go. They come and go. How many people that I met when I was in the military? How many of these women, the guy is messing around with a lot of girls. Why? So I say, look for quality. Look for quality in people, women. Look for qualities. And if you cannot find that quality, it's okay to be single. It's okay to be single. I am a single woman. I've never married, and I'm okay with that. But society tries to make you feel like an ugly duckling if you're not married at a certain age. So I'm telling you, that's okay. This is all a game that they play against women. And it's done upon us so that we compromise ourselves sexually to do things. Oh, if you don't do it, I'll get it from somebody else. Well, then go to somebody else. Go to that somebody else. Be something for yourself. Be something that you think is honorable for you. It's not about being the holy roller, you know. But be yourself and stay away from trouble, ladies. Stay away, and the guys will stay away from trouble. There are ladies that are trouble too. It goes both ways. You have women who do things against men. You have women who use men. You have women who drug men and steal the money. You have that. Men, stay away from those type of women too. Be selective, men, because you want to start a family with a lady, a woman of integrity, to be the mother of your children. Don't marry trash. There's a lot of trash out there. A lot. You know, be selective who you marry. And looks isn't everything. Looks, especially when it comes to skin color. Don't get hung up in that. It's just a package. Try to really go within. What is the essence of that person? Yeah, you'll be surprised, people. There are people who are considered culturally very attractive, but they are nasty people. Nasty, nasty people. I've met them. And I'm embarrassed about some of the things, but I'm glad that I got out of certain situations. You may feel embarrassed. Ladies, it's okay to feel embarrassed about certain things that we've done in life. None of us are perfect. But once you realize you've made a mistake, just bow out of it quietly, get out, and brush yourself off and move forward in life. Move forward. Believe me, you're not the only one that was tricked. You're not. We all make mistakes. This is a learning process for all of us. All of us, men and women. Yeah. See, these days, I really feel with this whole drama that's happening, see, it's a new dispensation going on now. It's a new dispensation. The election was just part of it. the election was an excuse. This election was about, I think, really covering the real agenda. I believe that President Trump was someone that was revealing certain aspects of what was going on behind the scenes. Yes, he has a personality, Trump, yes. He always was what he was, always. For the past about 40 years, my knowing about him. But see, there's things going on behind the scene. And it is exploiting certain things in history, primarily the Black America. But Black America is, again, is being used as a cover for sinister things, in my opinion. Um, yeah, this is a time of they're trying to usher in a new dispensation. And it's really interesting that, Cicely Tyson, the legendary actress, just passed away this past Wednesday. So she got to see the election. She got to see a lot in her time. And boy, what else? Yeah, a lot. And there was some other well-known people that also died this year and in December. I can't remember their name, but yeah, uh, legendary actors, performers. Yeah, this is about a new dispensation, and they're really, really trying to get a strong hold on us, on all races. They want you to think it's all about black. No, it's not about. Okay, did you? Okay, I'm reading a Jet Juice message here. It says, "Did you have a best friend, and what happened to her, and who is your best friend now? I mean, besides me." Okay, okay. Yeah, I was just saying in Jet Juice. I had, to me, she was uh, my best friend. I mean, to me, this was someone who I highly valued. I met her in 1986, and she served as a wake-up call to me about opening my eyes on embracing my blackness, to appreciate my my skin color, my hair texture. Yeah, back then, having natural hair. Yeah, I did wear my natural. Yeah, that's right. I cut my hair. Yeah. When I first met her, I had a relaxer in my hair. And my hair was shoulder length, and then I cut it all. I shaved it all off. I had like a crew cut. Yeah, I had pictures of me with a. I don't have him now, but I had a crew cut type of thing, real close, all close to the side, about this much on top. Yeah, because I wanted to. I guess even back then, I said, my hair's breaking off with this relaxer, and I just wanted to start again. And what's interesting about this, like, so here I went into the military with my natural hair. Yeah, but yeah, I cut my hair. Um, it could have been. Oh no, it was okay. In '87, sometime in 1987, because it's before I went into the military. Yeah, and yeah, so by the time I got in the military in December of '87, my hair was starting to grow back. So I had a little fro like that, natural hair. And I did try a Jerry curl also. Yeah, because the black girls, they had, back then it was the Jerry curl. in the 1980s, and then in 1990 I cut it off. Yeah, because it was breakage. Yeah, the chemical processings on my hair doesn't work well. My hair shaft is extremely thin, and when the new growth comes in, it breaks. And then I had someone else in 1992 talk me into getting my hair relaxed. She was a West Indian lady, and um, she and she's a story too. But uh, sh, now I thought in the West Indies having natural hair was a positive thing. A lot of people in the West Indies don't like their blackness at all. Yeah, I was on the island of St. Thomas, and it's a black island, man. Of course, they have some mixed race, not that many mixed races. It's a black island, dark skinned black people. Um, and then they do have some white people there on the island too. So I, I wasn't appreciated wearing my natural hair in the West Indies. Isn't that pathetic? The black West Indies, the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas, and my hair wasn't embraced there. We're natural. Yeah, they were. Yeah, I faced a lot of bigotry there by other black people. So um, yeah, the people who treated me better were non-blacks. Isn't that something? So you go figure. I go after the military. After I got out of the military, I went briefly back into the U.S. mainland, and then I went to live in the West Indies, thinking that this would be a great start for me to embrace my blackness and to be a black person, black woman, and it wasn't respected. Isn't that something? And having natural hair, but again, my hair is not as African as the majority of blacks there. And God forbid, what happened? I allowed this West Indian woman. She had gone to the States for college, some training in the U.S., in California, and then she came back to the West Indies. And so she was used to people from the mainland and her being a West Indian woman. And I allowed her to talk me into getting my hair relaxed. See, they were still into the white girl hairdos, get it relaxed. That was the death of me, boy. That's what really made it worse for me when I got my hair relaxed. So with my features and then getting my hair relaxed, uh, they hated me even more. The women, you know what the West Indian women were doing to me? The peasantry, they would suck their teeth. One day I was walking with my West Indian friend that talked me into getting my hair relaxed, and she did the hair relaxer. Um, I would hear these weird sounds, and I was looking and looking, and then one day I looked in the right direction, and it was that lady, a black woman, West Indian woman, sucking her teeth at me. That's what I was getting in the West Indies. See, because the black West Indian women, the dark skinned uh, black West Indian women, are jealous on the women who, like mixed blood type of people. It's a hatred. And I guess they think it's a competitiveness with it. I mean, black men there like their black women. So I don't know what, but it's again, it's a jealousy, and they hate Puerto Ricans too. They hate lighter skinned people. They don't like white women at all there either. Yeah, historically, yes, the black woman was treated horribly by the white woman. The white woman got over. The white woman got all the riches and the fancy clothes and the house because of slavery. So she benefited directly from slavery, the white woman. So I can understand the history between the white woman and the black woman, especially in the West Indies. But it is what it is. And yeah, so this is what happened to me. And so, so here I chose to live there amongst who I thought were my own. Um, I do come from a Caribbean background, but not from St. Thomas. But I just thought it would be um, something positive for me. Um, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Who would expect, because a West Indian woman talks me into getting my hair relaxed, and the animosity that I got from other women. See, I embrace women because, see, I know I was raised in a very male dominated household, and I saw the disparities of being a female, and that being a man, you get more benefits. You know, you treated socially better. However, amongst black men are not treated well in America. Okay, I have to give that to them. But still, male men in general have things over women in general. Um, so that's what it was. So I always, and I guess because I lived in a very male dominated house, I sought out friendship with other women to learn about what other women do. You know, if you're always around guys, you know, I wanted to know what it's like being a female. What it's like, women wear makeup and things, get their hair, I wasn't around that. So who I value other women. But it's unfortunate that a lot of women don't value me because they see me as a competitor. And I've never been a competitor like that. So it's very characteristic of me. Who value, I value women, but yet many women hate me in my community. And I'm very pro-black, but many black people don't like me. Black women again. So go figure. Go figure. It's really sad. Who I speak out to, who I try to encourage are other black women. And you don't understand it. You don't understand what I'm doing. Or how about with this whole election thing? You know, that he tried to help, he had the platinum plan. So I challenge this to the rest of Black America. Okay, what are you going to do now to improve the condition of the Black family? The Black family includes the man, the woman, and the children. What are you going to do to promote that unity of the Black family? What are you going to do? What about your natural beauty, your hair, your skin? Some of us are still straightening our hair. We put on these long hair weaves to try to emulate the people who you hate, right? But you're going to get angry with me if I get my hair uh, processed, or even when I got my hair in braids. I got my hair in braids in 2012. I went to Harlem to have an African do my hair to try to do business with other black people, whether they're African born or American. I purposely went there to buy black. And look what happened. This young black, I'm old enough to be her mama. And she's trying to challenge me. I couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe it. This was an African woman and a beautiful looking, dark skinned West African woman. She could have been from Senegal or Mali. That's who primarily works in there. They're from Senegal or Mali. and doing stupidness like that. See that? See, this is my reality. That for me, going to a black country in Africa may be my demise because you still have colorism. You still have petty jealousies of hatred of women against other women. Because what? Because ultimately they're trying to get a man. And then now you also have, sorry, a growing movement of the LGBT community infiltrating Black America. In Cicely Tyson's time, that was not an issue. Why is it an issue now? Because you have people and people who are in power right now in government. You have social engineers, and these social engineers have infiltrated the black community and are manipulating us to hate ourselves more. They're saying, we're going to allow you on television, if you are of the LGBTQ community, to be then, because see, that community stick together and they hire their own. So you might think that someone who gets in there, a black person gets in there, well, they got in there because of what they are, what they do. And then we as black folk, we watch them, but they're not supporting us. The black community is being robbed under our very eyes. We think we put someone, let's say we voted someone in, we think that they are about us. No, they are members of that other community, but they are deceiving us and not letting us know what they are, and they hide their own. So how's that going to help us? The black community, the straight black community who support you, we have to start thinking smart because they're just going to throw us out. We're not going to be in any seats of power. They're not about the black family. How the hell are they going to have a family? And again, this is not a poo-poo on those who chose for themselves that what they call alternative lifestyle. What you like sexually is your business, and I don't need to know your business. And I don't want to know your business. But it is my business when you use the mainstream straight black community to get ahead, to get into government, government position, especially. I mean, like things like performing arts, you go to an agent or something, right? But primarily who watches you are other people from your community, from the black community. You're a black actor, you're going to find a lot of black people watching you. In a nutshell, right? Yes, anybody could watch anybody. You could be of any race and any race could watch you. But in general, right? So you have to be careful. You have people, predecessors, like us, Cicely Tyson, who's been in the industry for, 70 years. And she did very positive roles for black people to watch. Again, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this live stream, my very first introduction to Cicely Tyson was in the movie Sounder. And I was in elementary school and I saw it with my class trip at that time. And it was a different culture than mine. I mean, I'm not from the South, and again, it's supposed to take place in like the 1920s or 30s when the U.S. was in the Depression era, and they were sharecroppers, and her husband gets arrested, and even with that, let me tell you what that movie was about, in part. See, movies like that now, they this movie is again a psychological movie. It was to socially engineer how they wanted white people, anybody to view black people, that black people were victims, that tragedy. Because again, she lost her husband, the husband gets arrested. So now she's taking care of everything. And this was going to be the model of all these other movies that were to follow, basically. Okay, that came, again, it came out in 1972. And the movie Good Times also came out, I think came out in 1972. I don't know when it was originally aired, but I know by the time I was, oh, boy, yeah, I was about 10 years old. Yeah, it could have come out in 1972 and 73. Those of you who know who are TV buffs or movie buffs, when the TV show Good Times came out, it came out around that time. So it was to follow a trend of removing the black man, the alpha male. See, that man in that movie, Sounder, that played her husband in that movie, Sounder, he was an alpha type man, a man's man. He wasn't a soy boy. He didn't have to think, oh, mommy, am I a girl or boy? Okay? He was a man's man. A good role model in the sense of him um, loving his children. And also in the interview what Cicely Tyson was doing uh, recently, she said that when they made that movie Sounder, I think she said it was the director, somebody who helped make that movie, a white guy that helped make that movie. Uh, he shared with her that he realized his own biasness when he was watching the movie and the little boy said to the father, called his father daddy, and he felt uncomfortable. And Cicely Tyson asked, well, why would you feel uncomfortable? What do you call your father? What did you call your father when you were growing up? He says, daddy. So what was the point? What was the issue? That the dehumanization that a black man does not have, is not equated the same as a white family. That a white child can say to his white father, daddy, but the black child to call someone, their father, daddy, was alienated because he was removed. He's historically removed from the family because he probably didn't see black men with their children because he was taken away. Okay? This is what you call social engineering. And in that movie, Sounder, he was stripped of his manhood and arrested. And so she had to put on the pants in the family, so to speak. Yes, he eventually gets out of jail, but still, it's telling. And again, this movie was made uh, right after all those riots that they had, these sit-ins and marches and all that from the period from 1950s up to, I think it started in 1955, the movement. Those of you who know, who are history buffs, who knows when it actually took place officially, the civil rights movement, sometime in the 1950s, and then it ended in the 1970s primarily. So let's just say a 20-year period. A 20-year period, all this drama in America, and but so initially they wanted you to think, that, because the black family was together. The black family in the 1950s, you were married, you had children together, you lived in your own communities. But after the war, primarily, it started changing. The 1950s, the civil rights movement again is using black people as a beard, as a cover for social engineering. That they were going to change America, but not just Black America, but again, they use Black America as the poster child of what they're going to actually do to all of America. So the movie Sounder, so so first they wanted to show the black as the hero. And they have all these macho movies in the 1970s primarily. 19, I mean, Sidney Poitier, he did movies. Again, he was American born, but of West Indian heritage. That this is also correlation. What I find in American movies, back then, they were, again, it's so typical of America. They were getting these actors, these performers who are of Caribbean heritage rather than getting American blacks from the South, that heritage. You don't see that. Sidney Poitier, he's of West Indian heritage. Uh, Harry Belafonte, also of Caribbean heritage. Cicely Tyson, Caribbean heritage. Yep, and I wonder about some of the other performers that they're just quiet about it. But it's a reason why that they don't seem to really want the true American black. If I could word it like that, we're all under the same umbrella. But just being real, I'm just seeing a correlation. Why aren't they using blacks who migrated from the southern states? Why? Because they're not liked. Cicely Tyson looks very different than many American black, but she's was born here, so she sounds like she's from here. She's raised in Manhattan, so she sounds like just like the other black women. But that's why they stopped and strict, because her features are different. Her very pure African, so they used her as a symbol of American blackness. But again, not using American blacks, historically, in America. So why is that? Hatred. Hatred. So yeah. So again, the removing of the black male. The movie Good Times was a TV series, and they initially had the black man there, mother, father, and children, and this oh I forget the name. Oh, moving on. Oh, I forget the people that moved to the Upper East Side. Yeah, they had a husband and wife, and then they had one son, but they made fun of this biracial couple, and the guy and the biracial girl and the son were like dating or something like that. I forget the name of the movie. I mean the TV series. But yeah, so they slowly started to target the black family, the standard or mainstream black family, the wholesome black family. So they did this slowly. So again, the movie Sounder came out in September 24, 1972. The black guy gets arrested. The lady has to fill in and take care of her kids and everything. So she has to act like the man. Uh, they don't want any black male heroes. They don't know. They'll put up the black female as the hero. Because isn't it respectable that she's filling in the spot because her husband was taken away, honorable. But see, they don't want to give the black man honor. And then, okay, the TV series, the father in the movie, Good Times, he gets killed in the movie. And they removed him from that movie series, that TV series, because he started speaking out. That guy started speaking out that he started the movie because he wanted to show a positive image of the black man, but the guy who played Jimmy Walker, the son, he was the black buffoon. And he was becoming more and more of the star. And he said, hey, wait a minute. You know, I want to present this positive role of father figure, and now you putting him up there, but showing him as the buffoon. See, that's how they want to see you. See how it goes, people? They initially lured you in to make you think that they were really about you, black family and black men, to embrace you. Yes, they embraced you for a season, and then the social engineering by replacing the alpha black man, the father who played, the person who played the father in the TV series Good Times, and then replaced him with the black buffoon, right? And then the other movies, the other TV show, I should say, not Sanford and Son, but Sanford and Son, okay, no husband and wife. The husband was a widower, and he had an adult son. Okay, so again, removing the black family, one or more, one of the parents aren't there. Okay, so now they're removing the black woman from the man, but they show the black guy as, he was witty, insulting, and he was the black racist, right? He made fun of the white people and all that. Remember that? See again how it is? So now you start out as an honorable black man. Now you're showing him as the bigot and hater of white people. But you're still a buffoon. But he's an older buffoon. And then what else? Yeah, there's another movie. He was they had lived in some place and then moved to the Upper East Side. He's a lighter skinned black guy. He's married to a dark skinned black woman. And he was very insulting to the white people on board. I'm being real. See, this is how they start you. So they want you to think that, yeah, he's one of us, he's insulting whitey, blah, 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 but white America had their card up their sleeve. See, they made you think that they loved you. They reeled you in. And that was in the 1970s. What happened in the 1980s? What happened in the 1980s? Now there's no man at home, just a bunch of kids at home, and the woman, welfare queen. Remember that? The welfare queen. So here, Cicely Tyson in the movie Sounder was a woman of integrity who's taking care of family, and then now the welfare queen of the 1980s movies, living in the projects. The kids are out and about, and then the 1990s, gang warfare, everybody's shooting up at each other, and then the rap music also, and then the rap music calling the lady the B word, right? Am I being real out there? Am I being real? Am I being honest about the trends? What was going on? So from Honorable Cicely Tyson in the movie Sounder to the deprecating movies of the 1990s, we didn't progress. We didn't progress in Hollywood. It just camouflaged itself. Yes, they might have had people wearing fancy clothes, fancy hairdos and makeup, yeah, and fancy cars, but you're not respected. You're not respected. There's no black family. Well, they did have that. They do have a new, okay, the movie, the TV series Blackish. Why do you have to call something like that? Blackish and the color something. See again, it's putting focus on what's really not. They want you so self-conscious about you. You're not your color, but they want you to think it is. They want you to think that's all. They're blinding you about. They want you to identify so much with your color, but in the meantime, they are messing up your community. It's not about wholesomeness, pride. After all these years, from the 1950s till now, Hollywood stinks for black people. It stinks. They're not really promoting black family. It's all a joke. I saw a movie, a TV series over my family's house just a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago. It was during Christmas season. And this one was a Christmas special, about Christmas. And yeah, it was a black TV show. And guess what they have on it? On Christmas Day, you have the boy and his girlfriend in his parents' bed. It was shameful. Shameful. It was some sexual thing. It was supposed to be a comedy thing. And it shamed the parents, and rightly so. Is this entertainment for the holidays? I notice a lot of these black directors, someone, they're shameful. They're shameful. Yeah, they're making money all right. And I find more and more of the movies, TV series are smut. It's just what they call soft porn. It's nasty. And a lot of us in our community are nasty people. Nasty. We're being fed nasty stuff. And it's supposed to be family entertainment. No, they're sexualizing you again. It's perverted Hollywood who's covering up all those sexual scandals that are out there. So whether government, movies, music, all that, yeah, all that is being thrown in our face. It's shameful. It's shameful. Why do we do this? Why do we settle for that? These aren't new. These aren't people who really represent us. The people in office. Maxine Waters. You think she's really representing black people in California? She was exciting uh, hatred when she was saying for people to attack and to do bodily harm to somebody else. And for her being official, that was wrong. That is wrong because it's showing a poor representation. And remember that the same thing could happen to you. That someone, you may not be the flavor of the month. Right now, they're using black people as a cover and the flavor of the month. But once the flavor is gone, they're going to boot you out. And they will boot out Maxine Waters too. She's not indispensable. They'll throw her out just as quick as these other politicians. Once you service your time, you're gone. Whether in the spiritual sense or in the worldly sense. And that's also what Cicely Tyson seemed to be about. She had her time. She did her movies very honorably, and just Monday she put out her memoir, and then that Wednesday, last Wednesday, she passed away. Isn't that something? She did her time. Yes. There's a time and season. So the universe knew her time was going to be up. The universe knew Cicely Tyson time was up. She did everything basically what she set out to do. And but interesting, she said she had a secret to tell somebody in one of the interviews, one of the last few interviews she did. I think it's the one. I forget which one. Was it her very last interview that she did on? Oh, what's that? Yeah, she did an interview on Monday. That Wednesday she died. No, I'm sorry. She did the interview on Tuesday. Her book came out Monday. She did the last interview Tuesday. Wednesday, she was gone. Okay, that's not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. There's a time and season for everything. She did exactly, her timing was spot on. Interesting. So, like Maxine Waters, she's playing her part. And it's like, wow, come on. Years from now, people are going to see that video of her saying those horrible things as a politician. And you're going to say, wow, these black people are violent. Wow. And rightly so. You think this is the first time in history that, uh, yeah, that's right. Amethyst is saying, no, that's not a coincidence at all. Yeah, the timing was something. Yeah, you put out your book on Monday, you do your interview on Tuesday, Wednesday, you're gone. Yeah, yeah. So people are going to see, people are going to see all these other people of color in government. You see how they act. See, you can have whatever politics you want. I was never into politics. I wasn't into voting. It was all BS, in my opinion. That's how I felt. Because my vote didn't count. And my vote didn't count in this one. Because it's a time and season for everything. And look at them. There's no real joy in their eyes. You got the blacks, you got the Latinas. Yeah. It's all look at them. What are they really promoting? And they want to make it look like they represent you. They're not representing you. They're representing the filth out there. Yeah, they're filthy people. They are filthy, filthy people. If you're about wholesomeness, about the family, what they want to promote is the LGBTQ community. They want to represent about controlling you of your health rights. They're not telling people you have to have a mask. Oh, you got to have you go to the VA office. I told you about this. The little gun thing to test your temperature. I said, I don't want it in my head. She points on the message, we're not allowed to do the wrist. You know what I should have said? If they don't want the wrist, do my foot. I should have done something like that. See, it's about now using the black devil to do the white devil's bidding. A devil's a devil, regardless of the color. Regardless of the color, they're using you. They're using the now black, because right now, the black race is the protected so-called minority. But they're using you the cabal, the people who really are who are orchestrating this charade, excuse me, who's really behind all this mess, they're only using you. They don't love you. And they're letting you say all those horrible things in government because you're being protected. But like in Cicely Tyson's day, um, she was being protected, but for a season, and then they let go, and they let all this riffraff in to destroy the black community. They're going to use this treatment for that, that special treatment for that thing that started in the CCP, right? CCP. They're using it, and then they're going to give you that so-called medication, which is going to make many of you black women sterile, uh, give you the HIV virus because that's what's in it, that medication, the HIV virus. Remember HIV? That's the thing that gives you AIDS. Who else in America has AIDS? Who became the new poster child for the AIDS? That's right. Yep. That's right, Amethyst. Who? You don't hear anything about AIDS anymore. Why don't you? It didn't disappear. It didn't disappear. So how come you don't hear it? More, a lot, I'm sure it's out there. But they're having all these movies. They're not talking about AIDS anymore, but it's still out there. And who gets it at a higher rate? But you do, black family. They have all these movies now in the black community. They got girls with that long flowing weave, the nice nails. Oh, they're showing women now in nice fancy apartments and they have their own car. But they show you, but they don't show you in family. They're saying, black woman, you don't need the black man anymore. I'll put you in Hollywood. I'll give you some money. I'll put you in roles, starring roles, you in a nice job as a lawyer. But they don't have him with the black man. Remember that movie they had him, had the girl sleeping with the president in that movie? And that was a big thing. They said most black women watched that show. I forget the name of it. It had Kerry Washington in it. See that? Hollywood saying, we'll reward you, black woman. We'll even have you in a TV series having sex with the president. How about that? You have a nice outfit and all that. Sell out. Sell out. Yes, it's a sellout, all right. Sellout. And who, yes, that's the bingo. Thank you. Yeah, scandal. Yeah, so from Cicely Tyson in the movie Sounder to the TV show Scandal. Wow. Wow. What was that, about 50 years? It was almost 50 years later. Maybe 45 years later. Look at that. Did we progress in Hollywood or in the movie industry? Yeah, they show us doing more, but doing more of the nasty. There's no integrity. So now you get a whole bunch of girls going out there. You look on YouTube, and everything about with the black women on YouTube is about beauty, getting your hair, growing your hair, getting nails, right? How to put on makeup. But nothing about your mind. Nothing. Nothing about mind. Nothing about family. Nothing. You just go out there, try to look cute, and be a real bitch to other black women. And so now you have these black women now with this election thing. Yeah, nothing about the family or mind. Yeah, nothing. So now you get these renegade women who are hoping, these are like, to me, they act like wannabe wenches of yesterday that they want to please master, and they're going to be as wicked as possible to get master's attention, right? Right? They go out there, they act like men, they don't act like women. These people who were doing these marches in New York City, you know what a lot of those women are. These aren't women that's going to have families, okay? They're about the LGBTQ community, not about the black community, about the LGBTQ community. And again, it's your right if you want to be that. That is your business. That's your lifestyle. That's what you like. That's your business. But again, you're using your race as a beard of what you're really about. And you're using Black America to back you. And then you do the marches, and you talk about this or that, but you don't protect your own damn community because you're not about it. You're about who you're going to be messing with next. That's what they're about. They're about finding who they're going to sleep with, right? What man they're going to hate, right? They're not about the black family. They're not about uh, supporting the black male. The black male is the head of the family. That's how it, historically. And then the black woman is his queen, right? And then you have the child. And they work together as a unit. But you don't have that anymore. They're not promoting that. They are promoting the demise of the black family, period. Promising you positions in government office, promising you movie roles, and you're a sellout. You're not about the black family. And all this ruckus that happened all in 2020 and what's happening now, my little baby. Yeah, I love you too. Yeah, what's happening now? Yeah, it's about your demise. Yeah, those people out there, some of the things that I showed you. That video that I did, was that 2 weeks ago? A lady was just filming, an independent journalist was taking videos of Martin Luther King Day. It was a march, but it was all raucous. And this other thing, the woman, black woman, taking an umbrella and shoving it in the woman's face. See that because you think you're the flavor now, and so you're showing off, and they're allowing you to do violence. And this violence is not promoting your community. They didn't want the journalists to show a candid scenes of what was going on. They don't want you to know who's behind those masks. This whole thing with this uh, virus thing, it's just a cold flu. It's cold flu month. And when you're wearing a mask, right, you can't see who's behind the mask. You can't see who it is. They don't want you to see. So they're using it as a weapon. They're using this whole virus thing as a weapon so they can disguise themselves of who is behind those violence in the White House with that thing that happened in the White House on the January 6th, because it will show you who's doing it. And in the street, all through 2020, those people wearing masks, you couldn't identify who they were. See that? Don't waste a crisis. Remember someone saying that, right? When those politicians, don't waste a crisis. And so they took this COVID, which was again going to be used during the election year for the ballot, because they're going to do the mail-in ballot so they to steal the vote. So don't waste a crisis. So the crisis was exploited. The crisis came from CCP, who benefited, but CCP, who is in bed with the new person in government, but the CCP. And it's a takeover. And so a lot of the buildings, a lot of the businesses here in New York City, where I live, is closing. And I shared with you over the months, all throughout 2020. I did my walkabouts in the village and in the Midtown Manhattan, all over the city. And I showed you what was going to happen. And everything closing. Well, this is all by design. It's closing because someone else is going to take over. Stop that. Sorry. I'm sorry, Lily. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. You okay, baby? That was Lily. I'm sorry, my little girl was walking and accidentally stepped on I think Lily growled. I think it was you that growled. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. She stepped on your toe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. It's okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, mommy loves you. I love you. Look at her. Let me show her. Okay, she turned her head. Okay, she just turned her head. I'm sorry. Lily, let me see. I love you. I love you. Look at I love you, Lily. She was sleeping. Okay. I love her. Yeah. She very really does, Yeah, that's what happened. She was walking, little Lilac wanted to get down, so she started walking and probably stepped on her foot when she was sleeping and hurt her, and she growled. Yeah, she showed the teacher. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah, she's my baby girl. Yeah, she's fine now, but I feel for her. She's my first little girl. Yeah. So yes, people, what I was saying now that see, all this is a show. All this, yeah, the virus thing coming. Yeah, I'm really amazed at all. I think everybody else is amazed too about all this. Who would have thought? Yeah, and someone was mentioned. I think it was oh, one of the people here was mentioning about the young black women um, rampaging through scandal. Yeah, it is all a scandal. Yeah, someone was mentioning about the black women rampaging Victoria's Secrets. Yeah, yeah. Why would you do that? It's not. See again. It's you major on the minors. You major on the minors. Your priority, black woman, is the black family. It's about personal excellence. It's not about who can grow the hair the longest. That is not essential. Hey, it's nice to have long hair, but is it really essential? What's essential is the continuity of the family, of you getting your own place. Um, like, at the front, when people walk through the front, I live in an apartment. Sometimes people might walk by. Lavin, let's quiet. Hey, hey, shh. You hear him growl? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, excuse me. So yeah, your priority is about, hey, um, how about moving out of the urban centers into your own property? I never once heard under Obama about, hey, what about the 40 acres that we were promised? You think Maxine Waters is going to talk about the 40 acres? She has a nice place, right? She's over a millionaire. But the common, everyday black family, or what about the person who's now serving as vice president? Has she ever once did anything for the black community? Never. She's not even married to a black man. So how the hell she's going to be representing the black family? Again, she has a right to marry who she wants to marry. That's her business. That's her business. It's your business who you sleep with, who you marry. I'm not about telling people who they shouldn't marry, but I'm just letting you know that the more disconnected you are from your community, the less it's going to survive. Now, yes, sometimes communities could evolve and become something new and improved and better and lively and strong. That's fine. But I don't see any livelihood in the black community. It's like we're not supposed to help each other. We're not supposed to hire each other. You fight each other. There is no love within us. Everything is about, if it's like we use all our energy, like in 2020, many people in the black community use all their energy to hate our president, Donald J. Trump. Use all your energy, but you did nothing about your community. Nothing. Even though he went and had a meeting with black people and tried to devise the platinum plan for black people. Yet you bit his hand, many of you. Many of you. So why you do something stupid like that? It's foolish. He's at the table saying, hey, okay, let's do it now. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about the platinum plan for the black family. And you didn't focus on that black woman especially. You didn't see they had the black woman as the mouthpiece, as the bugle horn for nonsense. Yeah, never. Thank you for sharing that. See, you're honest, Amethyst. You're honest about it. I wasn't broke either. That's why I joined the health club and took music lessons last year this time because I was doing well. But instead, you got these black witches in every sense of the word. Nothing, if someone who honestly practices witchcraft, that is their business. But I'm talking about the witch in the pejorative sense. And yeah, there are black witches out there. And rather than focusing on, hey, oh, he's going to talk about the platinum plan. Hey, let's discuss this. Let's have a town hall meeting. But no, that wasn't it. What did they do? But go in communities and catch it on fire, breaking into businesses, looting, beating up people just because of their race. That's all you did in 2020. That's all you did. And here you had a president who uh, spoke boldly to you, also addressed issues with the historical black colleges, not Obama. Only thing Obama had to do was just be a jive. You know what? He didn't do anything for the black community. Never. But he did things for the LGBTQ community, and that's who he really represents. Yes, he was a joke. I voted for Obama the first time, but I didn't vote for him the second time, no, because I saw what he was about. He is a sellout. And when he talks, he talked on behalf of Cicely Tyson, who passed away, like, oh, he's all about the black community. See again? He's bearding. He was never about the black community. Yes, he did give Cicely Tyson that this Medal of Honor. Yes, but that's it. But he did nothing. See, he's all about Hollywood's agenda. Yes, I didn't either. I didn't either. He was an imposter. Yeah, yeah, he was an imposter. But yet, where I live in New York City, all the men, you go to the bookstores, they have him and his wife in all these books. He's been out of office for a while. Why are they still pushing him? Because, see, Obama is about the LGBTQ community, and a lot of people of that community work in bookstores. Hello. You know, the area where I live. See that again? See that again? See that again, people? I see some people are still on. See what I'm talking about? When I talk truth, it starts to buffer. Yeah. So it is what it is. And I think it's sad because, see, in this culture, in this country, you did have some really good role models. Just like me initially, I had gotten in 1986 a role model, a teacher that was there to help encourage me, tap into my black heritage. And then I saw through her. Yeah. But I will, when that time comes for her, I still would give her honor. Give honor where honor is due. For some things she did do right. But again, she's a victim, jealous, had the so-called ideal lifestyle, house, you lived in a house and all that in the suburbs, you know. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So with today, women out there, the whole point of my making these sharing these events is because it is history. Cicely Tyson, she was 96 years old. She passed away last an honorable life. And again, she was a performer. And what about the rest of us? You have some great teachers out there, but see, it got hijacked, and they want to present the black woman as a man. She's not she's either sexualized or she acts like a man, aggressive. She doesn't act like a woman, feminine. And that is what you chose. You can choose to be, it's your choice. But remember, everything you do affects the future. You have some people who are so in tune with the future that everything they do in life is about the future. They think ahead of the game. They think ahead in what they can do to uh, better a future for themselves and for their descendants. So it's not just about them, the individual, it's about the future generations, the future community that comes after you. So it's your choice, black woman. You want to be the B word and have all your kids uh, living on the street. You want to see your black man on the street. That's who you see on the street where I live. You see all bunch of black men living on the street. We're disconnected. Or do you want to produce a future with the black man, black woman, and the black child in knowledge, wisdom that can carry to the future? It's your choice. It's your choice what you want to produce. A nest egg or a goose egg. It is your choice. Black woman, black family, black people. So whoever who watches this video, consider the words that I share with you. Again, I share all this to educate, to inform, and to let you know that you have a choice. It is your choice to go with the flow of decay or for real spiritual enlightenment. Choose the latter. Choose the latter. Don't shortchange yourself for a few dollars, your 15 minutes of fame, because after all this, the curtain's closed. Okay? So I thank you for staying with me on this live stream. Boy, I see I've been on now for 194 minutes. I appreciate all of you who've come on board, who shared in this live stream. Yeah, share this video with friends and family members. Those of you who want to promote my channel, to support my channel, I should say, you could PayPal me if you like. I have a PayPal me account, and the link is on this channel. You go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right of the banner, you'll see the PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated, and I thank you all in advance. Peace, love, and joy to you all. And no matter what your race, your complexion, your hair color, all those things, it's really not important. What's important is really inside and here. But in this awareness, we're in this uh, 3D form, but we are beyond the 3D. We are infinite, having this experience here. I thank you again. I appreciate you all. And thank you for your support of all kinds. Okay? Thank you again. And again to the late Cicely Tyson. Peace, love, and joy to you. My condolences to her family and friends. And thank you, Cicely Tyson, for the role that you played in this thing called life. Okay? See you. Bye bye.